Thank you, Mr. President. This is a historic day. And other than the day that I believe will come soon, that America produces the first safe and effective vaccine, what's announced today with the distribution of 150 million rapid point-of-care tests all across America is a testament to your leadership, Mr. President. It's a testament to this great team that you've assembled, from Secretary Azar, Admiral Giroir, and others. It's a testament to the partnership that we forged with governors like Governor Reeves all across America. And it's a testament to great companies like Abbott Laboratories and the thousands of employees who, Mr. President, I know have literally worked around the clock since those early days in this pandemic, when you brought in the greatest research companies in America and said that we need medicines known as therapeutics. We need a vaccine for America. But you also challenged them to develop a rapid point-of-care test that could be distributed all across America and enable us to more effectively slow the spread, flatten the curve, protect the vulnerable, and save lives. And Mr. President, today's announcement is really emblematic of the public-private partnership that you forged from the early days of this pandemic. As you said, we met today with the nation's governors. The White House Coronavirus Task Force completed our 38th conference call with America's governors. But all along the way, from our very first meeting, you made it clear that we'd spare no expense of the federal government. The full resources of the federal government you made available to put the health of America first. But you also challenged us, and you challenged American industry to bring the full power and innovation of the American economy to bear on this moment. And whether it be PPE, where we forged a partnership to see to the delivery and the manufacture of hundreds of millions of personal protective equipment, whether it be how we started with 15,000 ventilators in the Strategic National Stockpile, and today in partnership with GE Healthcare, Ford, and General Motors, we have over 150,000 ventilators in the Strategic National Stockpile. Whether it be the extraordinary progress on therapeutics, remdesivir, convalescent plasma that are literally saving lives, or whether it be, as you reflected, Mr. President, on our steady progress toward achieving a safe and effective vaccine before the end of this year. It's been that public-private partnership that you've led that's made these advances possible. And on testing, the American people really deserve to know that when we began, as you said, Mr. President, it was literally a standing start. We didn't have information on the coding of the coronavirus until mid-February. But America's CDC labs and public health labs did their level best. And by the end of February, we'd done less than 10,000 coronavirus tests. But as you just announced a few moments ago, last week we cleared 100 million tests all across the country. It's extraordinary. We have the capacity to do 3 million tests a day. It's a testament to American innovation and the leadership that you've provided. Also, Mr. President, we've delivered to nearly 14,000 nursing homes in America point-of-care tests already that are making it possible for us to really keep focus on the most vulnerable. As you know, only 8% of those who have contracted the coronavirus are in nursing homes, but 40% of those that have lost their life have been in nursing homes. And so we've surged those resources and surged them to vulnerable populations. But with the announcement today of this Abbott Laboratories Buy Next Now test, we began a process first announcing 50 million tests to go to our vulnerable communities, to go to minority communities, to Indian Health Services. But as we told all the nation's governors today, we begin the process this week of distributing 100 million tests to each state and territory in the country free of charge, so they can begin to deploy those tests on the priorities that the state has set. But, Mr. President, given the extraordinary capacity that we have in testing today, we expressed a hope to all the governors today that they would particularly use these Abbott Binax tests to open up America's schools and to keep them open. And we heard about the enthusiasm of governors from both sides of the aisle about what this test will mean in helping to process the testing that will get our kids into school and keep our kids in school. And Mr. President, let me just close by saying we've passed through a challenging time in the life of this nation in 2020, and our hearts, and I know your heart is with all the families that have suffered loss. But as you said, the cases are declining. Hospitalizations have been declining dramatically, particularly in the Sun Belt. In Louisiana, where not long ago 50 parishes had more than 10% positivity rate, now only 3 parishes are testing positive over 10%. Arizona was testing 20% positivity rate. Now it's less than 4% consistently. But with cases and positivity rising in 10 states, in the Midwest and the Near West, and with this historic advance in testing that's being distributed, 150 strong around the country, Mr. President, the American people should anticipate that cases will rise in the days ahead. But as we more readily identify those who've contracted the coronavirus, the American people can be confident because of this extraordinary and historic public and private partnership that you've forged, because of this whole of government approach. We're ready. As we proved through the outbreak in the Sun Belt this summer, we'll make sure that any community, any state that's impacted with rising cases, any school that's impacted will have the PPE, will have the supplies, will have the medicines. And as you said, Mr. President, we will continue at your direction our relentless drive toward achieving the first safe and effective vaccine so we can achieve the day that we once and for all put this coronavirus in the past. So, Mr. President, with thanks to our industry partners, thanks to this team, but thanks to you for your strong leadership. I hope for that day, and the American people can be confident. We will not rest, we will not relent until we put this coronavirus in the past.
Thank you very much, Mike. Scott Atlas, would you say a few words, please, as to how we're doing and